Hello.
Guess what day it is?
Hump day?
Deadpool Day.
Yep, it's the date is actually February 12th.
Yeah, but early showing.
February 11th.
We're heading out in 2.5 hours. Well, the movie starts in 2.5 hours. Of course, we're leaving early, so you guys are getting an abbreviated podcast. But honestly, the only thing we have to talk about is the Super Bowl.
And we might have like another segment where we just talk about other stuff. We're not having a top 10 this week.
Let's not build them up. We'll just let them know that hey, this might be where it stops depending on how we tangent.
Yeah, because we are tangent tile. So, in case you didn't notice, this week was a football game.
The big one. The last one of the year. Well, this season.
Let's see here. You predicted the
Broncos to win, and I said it would come down to a big defensive play.
Yeah.
I think I did do that on camera.
I'm pretty sure you did. First off, congratulations to Peyton and the Denver Broncos. But
no, congratulations to the Denver Broncos defense.
I was going to say that. While we're on that topic,
I'm just saying they won.
Peyton Manning should probably just give up his salary from this year and disperse it to all the defensive players. He really should, because the only reason that he has the second Super Bowl is because of that defense. It's not because of him.
Nope.
We at least agree on that. He had no impact on that. That could have been Brock Osweiler or him starting. The only thing positive.
First drive. The first drive, he really did nitpick it and really got some good throws downfield.
Yeah,
now, granted, it ended on a field goal, but still, he did drive them down the field. After that first drive, the touchdown came off of C.J. Anderson, and another one was two
fumble
for defensive. Well, yeah, fumble recovery in the end zone, and that's exactly what did it. One big play is all it took.
Well, again, congratulations to Peyton. He should retire, by the way. I don't think he should play anymore. I think he should be done. If he wants to play anymore, that's totally up to him. He's deserved that right to choose.
I think he should come in. I think he should just relegate himself to being the backup quarterback in Denver and give them another year to, dig through, see what they can come up with. Because you can get a pretty good third-tier quarterback in the third, fourth round of the draft to bring up.
If he plays, he better be taking a lot less money. That's all I'm going to say. Because he is not worth $20 million.
No, he's not playing at that level.
He's not. He got more dollars in million this year than he did passing touchdown.
Yes.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's way overpriced for what his level of play is.
Yeah.
Now, if he was doing what he did 3 years ago.
Yeah, the highest scoring offense in the league. Yeah, completely different story. He was worth the money then.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely worth it. But he's not worth it now. So if he plays, he better be taking like a $10 million pay cut or something. Playing for like 7 or 8 million or not. Maybe nothing more than 10. That'd be asinine to make more than 10. Now, granted, he could just spend a lot of injuries this year. So
it could have been. I don't know. It came down to exactly what it was. Carolina had close to 300 yards total offense, and I think
seems at like 230 or 240 or something.
Yeah, Peyton had 150, 160, somewhere around there total offense. Like, it was a defensive back and forth. That's what it was.
I don't want to say this. I'm not trying to take anything away from the defense, but there's a couple penalties that really dictated the game. The first one was the catch by Jericho Cotchery that they did not call a catch. They ruled it incomplete, and they got it wrong. They came out the next day and said they got that completely wrong. Because what would happen the very next play? Fumble recovery for a touchdown. That's why it always bugs me whenever there's like a human error in the game. Here's why.
There's always going to be human error in the game.
I understand that, but the goal is to remove that. That's why you have instant replay, and that's why you review things. Get it right, because that one error perpetuated into possibly the collapse of the team because of that refereeing error. Referees should never get it wrong. I'm sorry. Officiating should never be wrong. Players screwing up is one thing, because they are the players. They're the ones in the moment of doing it. The officiating should never be wrong. I'm sorry. They have instant review. They have instant review up top. They have instant review in New York City.
Yeah.
They have instant renewal. They should never get a play or call wrong.
I give you that. But having said that, I will also say this: if Cam Newton's as good as he thought he was, that one mistake or that one call shouldn't have ruined the game.
Okay,
he should have been able to bounce
I'm glad you
back
brought that
pretty
up.
easily.
I'm glad you brought that up because
let me guess, because they didn't call hit after 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 hit on him and
no,
gave him.
I was never going to say anything like that.
Good.
I wasn't going to say anything like that.
I was expecting you to.
No, my only. Can we agree that I think it's very apparent as to why he was voted MVP after that game. Because after watching his receivers against that defense, the fact that they went 15-1 this whole season with that receiving core
pretty impressive.
Very impressive. And they dropped a lot of passes.
Well,
every time they needed it was like a 3rd and 12 or something, Cam Newton would make like a laser pass for like 25 yards on the money drop. He did. I could, if I decided to do the game film and I did this next week, I could probably point to 20 different plays where he did his job. He made the perfect pass or the perfect play, and this guy just can't man up, catch the ball, or whatever the case may be.
You having said that, I can find another 10 at least where his throws were errant.
Probably. There were some that he did overthrow.
And that first drive. Wow.
First quarter. I'll give you first quarter. But there's also some where
that first throw, that dude had no
The
chance.
last 3 Super Bowl winners have all had one thing. No, it's not defense. It's secondary. Have all had the best secondary in the league. 3 years ago with Seattle. Or 2 years ago, I guess. 2 years ago.
Whatever.
Seattle. Best secondary in the league, by far. Bar none.
Yeah.
Last year with Brandon Browner and Darrell Revis.
Yeah.
Best secondary in the league. Yeah. And the second best one was actually on another team, but was when they played Seattle.
Yeah.
And then this year, best secondary by far was Chris Harris.
Yeah.
Akeem Talib. All those guys.
But I was happy to see once again. Well, no, actually, when was the last time that happened? Number 1 and number 2 defense. I was happy to see that.
Last year was close. I think Seattle was number 1 and Patriots like number 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I think it was close.
It was a good defensive battle. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I went to
I'm
not going to lie, I went to bed in the 3rd quarter, but then again, I get up at balls early in the morning, like way before balls early in the morning, like taint early in the morning, probably somewhere around there. Maybe even asshole early.
Yeah.
But I went to bed before the 4th quarter even happened, and up to that point, it was just, I don't think Cam Newton was prepared to be on his ass that much.
Oh yeah, they said that he was
really don't.
On the sideline really coming out. He was huffing and puffing because he wasn't prepared. Usually when you're standing there and getting hit is different than when you're running and hitting something because you're initiating the contact, and so you're perpetuating the energy.
You can direct the blow too.
Yeah.
Like you can throw the blow as you're
going down. Which I don't think he got super. I mean, there was one late in the 4th. I do think he should have got a roughing the passer call. I do think he should have got that. But other than that, I didn't think any of the hits were egregious or anything.
Well, I think flat out it was just, we said it at the open, it was Denver's defense that won that game. Flat out. They just were hungry.
I'm just saying that there were the one call in the beginning really screwed them because after that play, that strip sack fumble, whatever you want to call it, and he ended up falling on in the end zone. That wouldn't have happened if the play is called properly. It's like I don't want to bring this up, but 2 years ago, when we first started a podcast, we were talking about a Redskin game and how we threw an interception. And I was watching this at the bar, and RG3 makes a perfect pass to a guy wide open, drops it. The very next play is an interception. And I was just like, and everyone out there, oh, there's RG3 doing RG3 again. I'm like, the fucking guy should have caught the ball the play before. You catch the ball, that play's not going to be a pass. It's a fucking run because it's 1st down and 10, and you're in field goal range. Like I don't like it whenever something a human error perpetuates into a bigger error. You know what I mean? It snowballs into something worse.
But
that's what at the point we are in sports and technology, we should be able to negate that. That's all I'm trying to say. We should be able to at least come to that point where we can negate that. And does the game come down to this team played better than this team? Not this team got the lucky break that the official screwed up on. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's why
I think overall,
I'm not saying that's why they won. I'm not saying that's why they won or lost.
Okay,
But that's a big play.
Because I think overall the best defense won that game.
No,
Not the best team, the best defense won that game.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think the best team won the game.
The best defense
team
won the game.
was still Carolina, because Carolina's defense did play well too.
But I really don't think Cam's ever seen anything like that. Because I mean, we could go through the entire schedule of who they played this year. I don't feel like it, but we could.
Well, Seattle's got a good defense. Arizona has a good defense.
But I mean, the Broncos were killing it on D this year. I mean, despite the game,
well,
every game they lost because of offense.
You can point to a lot of things that can dictate as to why they were so successful. Whenever they lost with Jonathan Stewart midway through the first. There's half your running game.
Yeah.
So now you're one-dimensional. Like I said, the calls. There's a couple. And those calls weren't like... They were close. I'm not going to say... The one that really irked me more than the other one. The other one was just... It's a catch or not. It's judgmental. It's very subjective. Subjective. But the one that irked me was later in the game after the second fumble. Okay? Which, why Cam Newton didn't dive on, I don't know. But...
That was,
I think he was just afraid of getting hit. But
well, still, but that looked bad.
It did.
It looked bad. I don't care what his reasoning was. It just looked bad.
But no, it's not that play. It's 3 plays later. It's like 3rd and like 5, and like they're on like the 10. I think is what it was. They're on the 10, and Peyton throws a pass to a guy in the end zone. It overthrows him by like good 10 yards, and they call pass interference. Why call that? There's no way the guy's going to catch the ball. That's a cop-out, and it fucked up the game. In my opinion, it really tainted the game a little bit. Not really. It tainted the game, let's just say that, because now you're in a field goal opportunity, which could be blocked. The field goal could easily be blocked. And there's about 3 minutes left in the game, in which they could easily block the field goal and go the other way, first off. Second off, you approach the game a lot better when you're only down 10 points, because like, we just get a quick touchdown, we get the ball back, we can get on a touchdown, or we can at least go to overtime. Your mindset changes whenever, stupid pass interference call, ghost, whatever you want to call it, a ghost call, and now they got the ball on the 2-yard line, they run it for a touchdown, game's over. So, that was in my opinion, that was a bad call. Maybe it was pass interference, but when the ball's overthrown by 10 yards, and it hits the wall at the back of the end zone, and almost goes into the stands, I don't think you should ever throw any kind of penalty on that. I'm sorry. Any flag should never be thrown. I'm sorry.
Maybe. I don't know. I think that's the way me and you look at football completely differently. Is and we've established this. I am a Green Bay fan. I am a Steelers fan. And last week I was a Broncos fan. It is what it is. Even if the Broncos would have lost, I just find it, I don't know, maybe it's just not me. I'm not over competitive in nature at all. I'm just kind of like, well, shit happens. I just can't look at it and tear it apart and be like, well, this led to this and that led to that and this led to this. I mean, as far as I was concerned, just judging, and I guess I'm a casual fan. Let's just say it. I'm a casual fan. Judging by what I saw a really good defense lock it down. And granted, there was some ticky-tack shit that did happen. But at the end of the day, the defense flat out locked Cam Newton out of the end zone.
Well, see, I look at it differently because you're a casual fan. I used to play. And through the course of the game, every play... Sorry. Something's like...
You were just driving yourself nuts over there. You've been poking at your fucking shirt.
It's right there.
It's right there. Like 2 hours.
It's right there. I got it. The way I was taught to analyze football is every play, every player has a battle. Okay?
I see that.
Every play, every player
You haven't lost me yet. Keep going.
Okay? And every person's goal is to win their battle. Now, sometimes your battle is easier. Say you're double teaming someone. That's a simple battle. Say you have a one-on-one block against J.J. Watt. That's a hard battle. And the more battles you win, the more often you are to win the game. Okay? The refereeing is the same thing. They have a job to do, and when they don't do their job a higher percentage of the time, whenever they have all this stuff at their disposal, than the players who have to do it in the moment, I have an issue with that. Especially when they can easily hire 2 more officials and it'd be better, or they can put in like 3 more cameras. That's like with Bill Belichick in preseason this year. They were going over like the competition committee where they were thinking about things added to the game.
Well,
And he wanted like 5 more cameras.
Kraft petitioned for that too with the owners.
Yeah, he wanted like more cameras in the end zone, more cameras on the sidelines. He like in tennis. You know, you ever watch tennis? You ever seen any of that?
Yeah.
Okay, you know how they have like the super high speed camera that
can tell you exactly where the ball hit on the line.
Yeah, exactly. And why don't they have that stuff in the NFL? Like where plays that are like that to that precise moment of when he caught it wherever his feet, and then the ball literally move in or out of his hands. So, you know, things like that.
I give you that. I don't know. It might. No, it didn't. It came down to the better defense won the game. That's exactly what happened.
Well, also,
there might have been some ticky-tack shit. But it's hard for me to look at it. The one time that I will admit that a call ruined a game was the Seattle Green Bay game like forever ago now. The Fail Mary. That was the one time that I had really witnessed with my own eyes.
You're talking about just replacement officials that just screwed up.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that was the one time I would say they blew it. That ruined the game for me. That was it. But other than that,
because you're a fan of the team.
Well, but I've seen some. Well, it could have gone either way. I like to look at things casually and objectively as much as humanly possible. Like, when the Steelers lose, you don't see me taking a beer bottle and throwing it through the fucking TV screen. Well, they lost. You know why they lost? Because they didn't fucking play well enough. It doesn't matter what it came down to. My team didn't do their job. They didn't win their quote-unquote battle, to put it in your terms.
Yeah.
That's the way I watch
football.
I
also look at football as a cause and effect. And that's, if you think about the Patriots, that's what they do. They are the least penalized team in the league. Why? Cause and effect. He teaches and he preaches this to every rookie and every player that walks that door.
He fucks them on Tuesdays when they get there if they don't do their job on
Sunday. He says
he fucks them.
If you get a holding call, we go from 1st and 10 to 1st and 20 or 1st and 30 or 1st and 25, whatever the case may be, and that puts us behind. Your selfish individual act perpetuated to this, and that leads to a punt. We punt from deeper. They have a better chance of returning it. Field position's off. It's all a cause and effect.
But the Patriots are the one team that will dead look you in the eye. You fucked up this week. Guess where you're doing? Pine. Enjoy it. Yeah. They will do that to an individual over one stupid, simple fuck up. They will do it.
Like was it Jonas Gray gets almost like 250 yards rushing, and then he was late for a meeting. Sit on the bench.
Sit. Ride the
pine. You. Yeah. So, and if you look,
that's one of the reasons they've been so successful.
Yeah, and I'm just saying in general, if you think about it, I know you hate him, but if you think about it, that bad call, that Cautry caught the football. They called it no. 2 plays later, what happens? Fumble, touchdown. It perpetuates.
The only thing I'm going to...
Let's say that happens on the 30-yard line, and there's not... and they just land on it. That could be a field goal, not a touchdown. That carries over to the rest of the game. That's all I'm trying to say. It builds on that.
I give you that, but in my mind, if Cam Newton truly is the MVP of the league, one little thing like that should not dishearten him so much that he can't focus the rest of the game.
I'm not saying that disheartened him. I'm saying it impacts the game from an entire team, not just them, but an entire team's mentality. Because first off, you're playing from down 10-0 to maybe now 6-0, or maybe that fumble never happens. So maybe let's say he drives and gets a touchdown.
Infinity ago, the Raiders were down 3 scores with 3 minutes left, and they scored 3 touchdowns. Like, that shit actually has happened. Like, it's the mentality. Did he get in the huddle and say, all right, boys, let's put up a good effort? Or did he get in the huddle and say, come on, fuckers, let's go?
You're miscommunicating what I'm saying. I'm saying
I'm not miscommunicating.
I don't think a call should perpetuate the downfall of a game or the reprise of a game or the who wins. That's all I'm saying. I don't think a call should be down to that. A call screwed up. What happens 2 days later? This happens. That's all I'm saying. And I know good teams are supposed to overcome that, but it's Super Bowl. You shouldn't have something that big be a a damning factor in the outcome of a game. I'm not saying it was, because for all we know,
This has been one of the better officiated games I've seen this season.
All I'm saying
no,
is these plays should not happen anymore, especially in a big game.
There's always going to be.
I think they need to change the rule that every play should be able to be reviewed. Just like on like pass interference calls should be able to be reviewed. A couple years ago, remember last year, whenever Dallas was playing Detroit, they called pass interference and just waved it off because it was the Dallas Cowboys. Officials do. They're the highest. They're the the highest valued franchise in America in any sport.
Yeah, because they were smart enough to keep their jersey sales to themselves.
Yeah, well, that's Jerry Jones for you.
Well, I'm just.
I mean, you can't hate him for it. It's smart. That's all I'm saying. I think it's perpetuating. It perpetuates to a bad thing that happened. That really, if that happened and like nothing happened and they just punted the ball and the game go back and forth and it doesn't cause a huge game-breaking play. That's all I'm saying. That's all my issue, and that should never happen, especially in the Super Bowl. That's like, was it last year or 2 years ago? They played the Super Bowl in New York.
3 or 4 years ago.
It was in New York.
Yeah, but that was like.
Yeah, last year was Arizona.
Last year was Arizona. It wasn't the Peyton Seattle Bowl. That was not in New York. It was the one before that.
Well,
the Peyton Seattle Bowl was not in New York.
What was before that?
Fuck if I remember.
Oh damn! What was before that?
That was the one that was in New York because that was pretty much all right. We're not fucking doing this outside anymore.
Peyton Seattle. Was Peyton Seattle 3 years ago? It was at New York.
This year was Denver. And
no, it was there.
Last year,
it was there because I remember having this conversation with Kevin.
Peyton and Seattle.
Yeah. Here's why. I had this conversation with Kevin. I was like, I think they need to redo how they do the Super Bowl. Where they put the Super Bowl? He's like, why? I'm like, you have 2 West Coast teams. They got to play in New York.
Yeah, but you don't know where the teams are going to come
that's
from.
That's true. I mean, that's true. But wouldn't it make sense to have it on the West Coast so that the West Coast teams could play on the West Coast?
Well, but that's why they've always favored fair weather stadiums and domes.
I'm saying that it's closer for their fans to play.
Well, not always, but
usually. I'm just if in that situation, if you played, let's say it's Portland. Let's just say Portland. I know there's not a team in Portland. Let's just say Portland. That's right in between the two. Or Las Vegas or whatever. LA. It's close to both teams.
We literally know the Super Bowl city for the next 3 years.
I know, and I don't like that because it's no point to have 2 West Coast teams having to travel all the way to New York just to play the Super Bowl. Let them play close to their own fans. I'm not saying play it in their stadium. Well,
the only people who can afford the fucking tickets to begin with are people that have money to fly as well, so there's that.
I mean, that's a good point. I'm just I know they can't do that because there's so much. You gotta reserve hotels. You gotta reserve.
All right, now we're getting into the big picture. Let's get back to the little screen here.
Okay.
Point is, we're in agreement. Denver's defense won the game. Couple of ticky-tack plays, but nothing that truly affected the outcome of the game.
I don't think we can pin the loss on Cam Newton.
I didn't say that.
I'm just saying.
I can pin the win on Denver's defense.
You can do that. Yeah, you can definitely do that. But I don't pin the loss on Cam Newton because he made throws when he needed to make throws. He put the ball where it needed to be at times. Now, where I do blame the coaching staff is he had very little, if I don't remember any on it, practically. I don't remember really any of those zone read options. They could have really.
They could have worked with that a little bit better. It seemed like they were always
seemed like they was like.
Now that you say that, it seems like Carolina this year was doing what Denver did 3 years ago, to where they were always going for the big play, but never going for the short option to pick apart the short field and work your way down the field, as opposed to just go for it. Do you see a similarity there at all? I don't think they really tried to pick them apart on because in midfield area.
A couple years ago when Peyton ended up facing Seattle, they were trying to do their little quick slants and quick dink and dunks. And the Seahawks in the interviews all said that we were just taking away that we knew their route combinations based on their formations, and we just took away their first option. And we never let their second option develop fast enough because we would get to him before he could ever get to it.
I don't know. That year, it just looked like a bunch of individuals playing, not a team. That's what I saw.
That's just what they said. They said they took away all their quick.
We can say whatever you want to when you win, because we all know, and it's a proven fact, history is written by the winners, not the losers.
You ain't wrong, so.
Huh?
You ain't wrong, so.
There's that. All right. So anyway, while we're on the subject of Cam Newton and talking about the Super Bowl, post-game commentary and what he said Tuesday.
I have no issue with anything he said and or did on either day, because first off, if we're going to judge him for anything, let's go back and bring up the fact that Peyton Manning in every Super Bowl he's lost never went over and shook any of the other team's hands. He never did that when he lost to the Saints. He walked right off the field. And he never did that when he lost to Seattle.
He should. Russell Wilson's hand.
No, he didn't.
He did.
He was off the field before the clock even struck 0. I'm serious.
Well, in that egregious of a beating, I can see why you wouldn't want to, but in a competitive game,
I'm just saying. The Saints game was very competitive, considering the only reason they were down a touchdown until he threw a pick 6 at the end.
Well, Darvin Moon was cheering for him, so there's that.
I mean, I'm just saying. He's getting a bad rap for something very stupid.
I'm not giving him a bad rap. The only thing I will say is I expected more of him than that. And maybe that's on me more than it is on him. But I see what he does with local charities. I see what he does with the kids. I see all the positive things that he does and all the good he does. And maybe it's my fault. And I've said this. I think I've made this statement before. Who's guilty of making someone a hero? You or the hero themselves? Well, you're the one who built them up. So maybe it's your fault when they let you down, not them. I expected more from him. I really did. I didn't expect a full presser. I didn't expect him to sit there for 30 minutes and be berated by, what went wrong? What was your fucking problem? Da, da, da. No, he shouldn't have to put up with that. I truly believe he shouldn't have to put up with that. Let those guys stew in their own juices for a couple of days. Then talk to him. Don't talk to him in the heat of the moment, because of course they're going to be pissed off.
Yeah, but you want that because you don't write the story 3 days after the Super Bowl. You write it the night of, and it's published the next day. So.
Yeah, but
realistically, it'd be nice to have a day to calm down and be able to talk about it.
I understand why he was angry. I understand why he didn't want to do a full presser. I get it. That fact is not lost on me. And like I said, maybe it's my fault. I had him built up as a better man than that. That he would be like, we lost the game. And they can talk about Von Miller or Keith Talib, whoever was in the fucking background, going, oh yeah, we kicked their ass, blah, 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 whatever. Chris Harris. Running their mouth talking about how great we kicked their ass.
No,
whatever.
That's not what it was.
That shit shouldn't bother you. It shouldn't bother you.
Well, no,
you're the MVP.
If you're trying to have a conversation and answer questions and do your job, first off, I don't know why they have them literally back to back on 2 different screens. That's kind of dumb in my opinion. There's literally a screen, Cam Newton, screen, Denver's guys. I'm sorry, that's stupid in my opinion. There should be 2 separate rooms. Where you can be giving your undivided attention to them people and not have to be hearing the other guy spewing whatever he wants behind you.
Well, I'll give him the heat of the moment because I can see that being very irritating. I'll give him a lot of credit. I will. Cam Newton does a lot of good for his local community. And
don't put a foot on this. He does that, and he put the entire team on his back, and he was willing to do that. He tried
to carry him. Did his best.
He did his best. And whenever you try to do that, and then you're trying to be respectful to the people who are trying to do their job, and you have to hear that behind him on top. He probably just did that so he wouldn't blow up at the guy behind him.
Well, but the thing is
I'd rather him walk out than do something that we'd all regret he did.
Well, he did it. He had options there. Now, granted, walking out was probably probably his second best option. His first best option probably would have been to, hey, you know what? I can't do this with this guy doing that behind me. Like, I can't even think right now. Let me know when it's over. Let me know when he's done.
My point is,
he could have done that. He could have done it. That would have been his best option.
If that's who he is, then that's who he is.
But you can't be a sore loser when you're the MVP of the league. You can't be a dick about it. And it looked, I'm not saying he was, but to the general consensus of the people that fucking watch everything, because they have nothing better to do with their time because they're on welfare and fuck, they ain't gotta work. He looked like he was being a dick. He looked. I didn't say he was. I'm just saying he looked like he was being a dick.
I watched the interview that he walked out on.
I watched the presser.
I watched it, and I didn't hear the guy. I didn't know the guy behind him was talking. What it looked like to me was someone was asking him a question, and he's trying to answer it. And as he's answering, three other people were asking him a question, like being very rude to him. That's what I honestly thought is why he left. I thought he was trying to answer the question, and it sounded like three other people were asking him questions before he could even finish his statement.
See, I don't understand why they let that happen, because it seems to me that usually in that situation, like, I watched the Monday Night Bullshit last week.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl opener, as they call it now.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing Peyton Manning. They did Cam Newton. I watched both, and it was just like, you, go. Tell me a story. You, go. Ask me a question. You, go. Da-da-da. And everyone was being very respectful of that. And I don't understand why that changes after the game. Why is the media so fucking thirsty to hang? And the media hung him. The media hung him. Cam didn't help himself, but he didn't help himself get hanged.
No.
The media hung him.
Yeah.
And I think that's very unfair to him.
You probably should use a different term concerning his
back.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You should probably use
I'm just making a statement, and he's like over here playing Daniel Tosh. Is it fucking racist? Fuck me. Bullshit. I don't play that game. You know
I'm
that.
just saying. Come on, it's funny.
He's over there.
At least laugh about it. You know it's funny. Yeah, I should probably use a different term.
Cottonwood tree out in the front yard. Where's Cam Newton? No. Bullshit. No. That's not the point.
It's funny.
They did. It is what it is. It's terrible.
Oh, man. Okay. So
ufology is its own thing. Dude.
And then the thing on Tuesday where he's like, you show me a good loser, I'll just show you a flat-out loser. He's right. I'm a sore loser. I am not going to lie. I am straight up a sore loser. It doesn't make me any less of a person. I don't like to lose. I expect better of myself.
Nobody likes to lose.
Oh, no. I have a ton of friends who always get on me whenever I get mad about losing in anything. And they're like, you make it not fun for everyone else. I'm like, if you enjoy losing, then you're probably going to be consistent. You're going to consistently.
Wow, we are in utter, total, complete fucking disagreement right now, because I think being a gracious loser,
you
being
can
able
be
to say, you know what, you did your job, you prevented me from being the man. I'm pissed because now I'm pissed at me because I should have been able to pick your shit apart because I'm the MVP of the fucking league. I don't have to be.
No.
I don't have to bow down to you. I don't have to be overly gracious. However, the common courtesy is you kicked my ass. Like, this comes back to that shit that I used. I told you stories from when I was growing up. You kicked somebody's ass. You proved your point. You were right. You reached down. You grabbed their hand. You pulled them back up off the ground. You know what happened after that? You were best friends for the rest of your life. That's how it used to work. It doesn't work that way anymore. Well, you kicked my ass. Fuck him. I'm going to go get 20 of my boys, and then we're coming back for you. And I'm going to go get 40 of mine and come back to you.
You're totally misconstruing what I said. So
you are not a good loser. And you shouldn't have to be a loser to be gracious.
No, there's a difference between being a sore loser.
Or not gracious. Not humble. Starts with a C. Courteous.
No, you can be courteous. I play church league. I have to be courteous all the time. Doesn't mean whenever I get in my car, I'm like, fucking fuck, why did we lose that goddamn game? Seriously.
Get in your car, overanalyze it. That's fine. But at least he's been vilified by the media. They did it to him. He did not do it to himself. It was just bad across the board.
There's nothing wrong with being a competitor.
At his Super Bowl presser after the game, I hold nothing against him. That was a shit situation, and it shouldn't be like that. You should not have to be interviewed under such circumstances, and there should be someone in front of him, like, literally, honestly. When a president
like a mediator.
Yeah, when the president sits there and has to get fucking chewed out by everybody, there's someone sitting there going, no, you shut the fuck up. This guy, that guy right there in the front row. The guy that hates the Redskins, him. Speak. You know, that's the way it works. Then we just throw these guys to the wolves, and then they just start chomping. He was in a bad situation. He was in a pissy mood. Who wouldn't be in a pissy mood after losing the Super Bowl? I get it. What he said after that, though, I just don't agree with it. You show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser. Well, you know what? I've seen a lot of guys lose the Super Bowl, but I haven't seen anyone lose their shit quite as bad as he did.
He didn't lose his shit. I do not think at all he lost his shit.
2 days afterwards, and you're still like, show me a good
Probably
loser,
because
and I'll
someone
show
asked
you
him
a
about it.
loser.
Well,
Show me a loser, and I'll show you a good loser. I don't think that's a good statement to send out the kids, because we want all this teamwork and this camaraderie and this.
You
build
do,
yourself up. You don't.
we're
knock yourself
we're
down.
also in the same participation get you a trophy generation too. Nothing's wrong with participating, but
you don't get a fucking trophy for it. You didn't do anything but show up.
Exactly. That's a generation we're in. So
bullshit.
You should be more competitive. We should be more. This is why
you should expect more from yourself than anyone else.
Exactly. That's true, and that's my point. You should not expect yourself to just show up and get a trophy. You should expect yourself to be the best and get the trophy. And that's why our country is the way it is. I'm gonna go political for 5 seconds here.
Ooh.
The reason why our country is a fucking piece of shit right now. It's going down. We're no longer the greatest country in the world. We are not. Because
are you gonna rehearse that entire speech
no,
on that show?
We are not the greatest country in the world because we no longer respect being the best. Being the best makes everyone around you feel inferior. That's what it does. And people hate being inferior. And so it's not fair that you're better than me, so I should get the same reward you get for being what I am. It's flat out what it is. That's why we are the way we are in our country right now.
I like to light the fuse.
That's why we are the way we are in our country right now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why
in 10
or 15 years, in 10 or 15 years, I guarantee you, we're going to have some of the worst standards of athletics we've ever had in this country when it comes to professional
education,
everything. Because we're no longer at the point we want to compete with each other. This is where me and TJ is my friend, but we completely disagree about this. I believe everything you do is a competition. Everything in the aspect in your life, you should be trying to compete with somebody else.
It should be.
Because if you try to get the best grades, if you try to be the best in the sport, if you try, I try to make the most money at work. Why? Because if I try my best at something, I will get the best out of something. He believes that everything's not a competition. Like bullshit. Everything is a competition. And when you treat everything like a competition, you do better at it. And you thrive at it. And you care about it, so you put more energy and effort into it. That's the way I believe. And that's why I have no issue with the way Cam Newton said it. It's like it kills me when I lose to somebody. And I have to go shake their hand. I'll shake their hand because I'm a good person. I'm a good sport to that degree. But I'm going to get behind closed doors. I'm going to cuss up a storm. I'm going to be pissed about it. Because it matters to me. Losing something that matters to you and being mad about it is not a crime. That shows you cared. Okay, it feels like I'm yelling at you. I'm not. I'm just
yelling at me.
I'm sorry.
Really are yelling.
You yell at me, so I don't want to hear it.
I didn't get on you.
I'm just saying that's where we are in our country is that everyone wants participation points. We all have our safe bubble. We have words that are mean or whatever. There's all these memes on Facebook now. People need to fucking grow a pair. At age of people are in high school right now. If you were a Viking or Spartan, you were a trained killer. They could throw you in.
You were dead.
Or dead, yeah. There was no middle ground. Like, I'm not a killer. I don't want to be dead, so I'll just be the guy that talks.
I think I'll be a politician.
No, it didn't work that way.
It didn't work that way either. Julius Caesar, one of the most famous politicians ever, was a warrior. And that's how he became a dictator.
And a dick.
And that's how he became a politician. To be what he wanted to be, he had to do this. You expect the best from yourself, and you expect the best from those around you. If everyone has a mentality to try their best, are we gonna have a lot more people disappointed? Probably. But disappointment's a part of life. And that disappointment, if you don't like the feeling of disappointment, it can drive you to do a lot more things better. Maybe not in one aspect of your life, but other aspects.
Well,
I love basketball, but I'm never going to be athletic enough to play anywhere beyond where I'm playing right now. But I can put that energy somewhere else. It can still help me get in better shape if I want to be better at this brand of basketball that I play. So on and so forth. It perpetuates.
You appreciate a win far better after you lost. I think losing is part of the game. You have to lose in order to appreciate a win. Now, you can appreciate a string of wins your entire life when you've never lost. But after you get to that one point where you finally lose, fucking devastating.
Well, see, I went to Southern, so I'm used to losing.
Well, but I'm just saying, I think a loss builds character And then you get to look back and analyze at where I went wrong. And you're like, I am never doing that again.
I'll go ahead and throw this out there. When it comes to what time is it? Okay. When it comes to me and like basketball,
we've only been doing this 39 minutes. We had like a 1 hour window.
I know, but we're look at the time,
and we still have to talk about the halftime show and the Black Panther party and all that.
This is how I approach it. And I always tell this, like me and Jared after every game we talk about it. We got dinner and talk about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time has slipped from us graciously.
Yeah, we'll give ourselves a 10-minute grace period. We'll give us 10 more minutes.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take a piss and I'm probably gonna grab a road beer.
Okay.
Heard that right?
Probably. Me too. That's good.
You're no, you're not.
Yeah, I am. I'll do what I want.
Precious card, fucker.
Whenever goes for me coaching and playing. Whenever I lose a game, whether it's me as a player or me as a coach, always analyze why we lost. Did we lose because the other team was just flat out better than us?
Or did we fuck up?
Or did we lose because we didn't give effort or we did not try hard enough?
Yeah.
Did we just screw up too much and we didn't take care of the ball? Whatever the case may be. That's how I look at sports. I look at things a lot differently than everyone else. Granted, like TJ, I told you about our conversation about violence, okay? So I'm not going to get into that. But I approach things differently. Why does this things happen? Cause and effect. Why did we lose? We didn't take care of the ball. We didn't shoot well. We took bad shots. We didn't play defense. All these things are contributors to the end result.
Yes.
It all perpetuates into cause, the effects the things that caused it. Cause and effect.
And did one little thing that I caught or didn't catch lead to us not making it at the very end?
Yes, and that's what most great players. The reason why there's guys that played at a high level in college and are now like sell insurance or they work for a corporation or something, and then there's guys that moved on. The reason why the guys that moved on are the guys that moved on is because they looked at it and said, what did I do wrong? I missed this. I didn't catch this ball. I didn't hit that shot, whatever the case may be, and they look at themselves and say, that's not going to be me next time. This is why Michael Jordan is my favorite athlete of all time. You can look at Michael Jordan whenever he, quote, lost a game, whenever a game was lost, you could not look at him and say, you were the reason your team lost.
No, it never was him.
He would drop 65 in a game where his team only scored 80, and they lost like 95 to 80. You could look at him and say, you're not the reason your team lost.
You miss all of the shots you don't take.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that applies much to here. But my point is you can't look at him and say, you're the reason your team lost. And he would make it to the point where he'd say, you're not going to look at me and blame me for this loss.
No.
If you guys don't show up, he would actually say that to his team. He was in an elevator with his team once. I remember Stephen A. Smith saying this one. So you know it's a good one if Stephen A. Smith said it.
God bless him.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I love that guy.
I love him too. He's in the elevator with it was Scottie Pippen and two other guys on his team. And it's talking like, man, guys, tomorrow let's be ready. Let's bring our A game. MJ's in there with his teammates, and he says, I just hope you guys bring a game.
Ooh.
And he walks away, walks to his room. That's the kind of guy he was. And that's why he's my favorite athlete, because he knows I'm going to bring it. Are you? And if you don't bring it, I'm going to call you out on it. Call you out on
you
shit.
Should be called out on that shit.
Here's what I wanted Cam Newton to do. I wanted to go right up there and say, take in Junior, fix your fucking hands. You can't catch a cold. You need to do this. You need to do that. I throw you the ball, 25 yards, dart, hit you in the hands, and you fucking drop it. That's a problem, bud.
Be a leader. Call your boys out.
And then I'm like, and I did this. I double pumped a couple times when I should have got rid of the ball earlier, and that's why I got sacked and strip fumbled twice.
Where the fuck were you watching me?
So that's what I'm saying. That's where he I think went wrong with his press conference. He went out there just to be completely PC and not call anyone.
No, call him out.
Call him out.
It's a job.
I wish MJ played nowadays. With social media, you realize how many firestorms he could have started?
Oh, yeah.
He'd walk out there and be like, yeah, Scottie Pippen played pretty good defense, but my God, that nigger can't shoot. He can't shoot. He can't score. I pass him the ball every time. Nigga, I said he can't score. I pass him the ball, and he can't hit three to save his damn life. He better be in the gym right now. If he comes out for an interview, I'm going to kick his ass afterwards. He better be in the gym right now shooting like 1,000 threes. That better be happening. Seriously. Then he'd turn around, and you see Scottie Pippen just running. Oh, my God, I get some threes in.
That was more than 144 characters, I'm sure of it. But
Probably.
Just saying.
No, he would say that, and like Twitter would just blow up with it. That's why.
That's the way. That's what a leader does.
I know that.
Boys out.
After Scott, or like MJ retired the first time.
Nothing focuses a man more than being publicly embarrassed.
Oh yeah, especially when your manhood's questioned.
What?
When your manhood's questioned. That's what I said.
Yeah, when you're called out.
When you're called out,
if it doesn't focus you and drive you to do better next time,
there's no hope for you.
You can have pink panties. You can have pink panties. That's pretty much it. I have pink shoes, but I do not have pink panties. So
I have purple ones. Purple underwear, not panties.
Yep. So speaking of panties,
there's another good story about MJ. God,
no, you can regurgitate that shit all night long, but we're already pressed.
Okay, let me say this story, and then we'll go on to the halftime show, and then we're done. We're good. We got 10 minutes. We'll be done in 10 minutes.
We had 10 minutes 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes 10 minutes ago?
10 minutes 10 minutes ago.
No, I said we'll give ourselves a 10-minute grace period. We're going to end at 6:30. So that's what I said.
We're going to end at 6:30?
We're going to end at 6:40. That's what I said the 10-minute grace period is. It's 6:30 right now. I can see the clock from here, bud. You may have bad vision, but I don't.
I have an iPhone that tells time. I don't need a watch anymore.
That's one right there.
That's the
bottom right corner of the.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, the story. MJ.
Can you see? Can you see this?
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Yeah, focus.
Okay, so MJ after his he retired and came back. He lost in the playoffs.
Yeah, 23-45. We're still all pissed off about that whole fucking number change. But whatever.
Well, he didn't want to retire his number. You know why he picked 23, right?
I don't even care.
Because he thought his brother was like better. I guess his brother died or something when he was young. He thought his brother was a better player than him, so he took half his brother's number. That was 23. His brother's number was 45, so 22.5 rounded up to 23. Then his second number he took was his brother's, so that's where he got the numbers from. That's why he wanted to retire. But anyway, after he came out of retirement the first time, and he played and he lost in the playoffs, he literally walked in there and he said, guys, you got 2 weeks to go on vacation with your family, to relax, do whatever you got to do. But if you're not back here in 2 weeks, you're going to be finding another job because we're getting back to work because we ain't losing again. We ain't losing this again. Then he went on to win 3 straight. That's the kind of guy. That's why he's like the greatest athlete ever because that's the mentality of a champion and a winner. Dedicated, and he didn't expect anything less than that from people around him either. It's one thing to be dedicated. There's a lot of dedicated athletes. There's a lot of dedicated athletes that don't lead the people around them to be as dedicated as they are or have that expectation around them.
See, this like takes me back to a statement that I had to make like 10 minutes ago, but you're really in the moment, so I just kind of let you go.
Go ahead and say it.
You focus on competition, and you want to be the best in any competition. And you're competitive, and that's how it works for you. I'm not competitive, but the way I look at my life is that I'm doing everything that I do in the service of the Lord, so therefore I should work toward everything I do as if I'm doing it strictly for Him. That's how I focus on it. Granted, yes, I'm a raging alcoholic, a nicotine addict, and probably have a very questionable morality. That's besides the point. But everything I do, I really do. When I'm at work, I think, who's my boss? He's my boss. I need to do better. And that focuses me every day. It really does. It gets me centered and gets me doing what I need to do. Anyway, the racist halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
She got in trouble apparently for it. She got in some pretty big trouble for it. I saw it. Basically, she had all of her dancers dress up with, like, you know how they got like the gun things, like from the Old West or whatever.
Yes.
The boy,
Bandoliers,
yeah. They were wearing like the black berets from the Black Panther. There was a bunch of pictures of them going like this beforehand.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having black pride.
Well, the giant X in the middle of the field
from Malcolm X.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being prideful about being black. I'm not going to apologize for being white. I don't expect anyone to. I'm proud to be white. I'm not going to apologize for anyone being black. I'm actually proud to be Native American too. I'm part of that. I'm not going to. No one should ever have to apologize for who they are.
I am a Heinz 57.
Unless you do something bad, like if you're a serial killer, yeah, you should probably feel pretty bad about that. But you're a serial killer, so you probably don't.
Probably.
But anyway,
you don't.
I can't believe she got away with that. I can't believe that they saw that they rehearsed that and said to themselves, and I hated the way it was filmed, by the way. I hated the way that the halftime show was filmed.
I thought the cinematography was probably
Yeah, but it
some
was
of the best I've seen in a long
the
time.
sound was right
Like
there on the field. You could not hear it because everyone was screaming. Usually they film it from like other angles.
No, I was just talking about the camera angle. I'm not talking about the mic. Fuck, they screwed up the mic. I'm not gonna lie about that. You could barely hear.
And I was actually very surprised that Coldplay. It sounded pretty. Coldplay did pretty good. I was surprised because I thought it was gonna be very depressing and stuff. But
I don't know. I didn't see it when it happened, and I'm not one of those people that's gonna dwell upon bullshit that already has happened because it's gone and done, and I got better things to do with my life because I'm not obsessed with what's going on in the world because, as I've told you, if it doesn't concern me, it doesn't concern me. She can have her little Black Panther party. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. I could give a shit less. My problem lies with the fact that she's going to come out and flat out say, fuck the police, and then beg for a police escort to get there. Well, why do you need one?
Yeah.
If they're not doing their job, why do you need one?
Didn't she say like, I think she said Negro, not the N word. She said like 100 times in this. She said like a bunch of times in a row too.
I have no idea. I wasn't paying that much attention. I was just enjoying the cinematography, to be honest with you, because I thought bar none it was the best I've seen in a Super Bowl. Because usually they fuck up and the camera's not where it's supposed to be, but this one was like spot on. When Bruno was doing his shit, it was on him. Coldplay on their shit, it was on them. When Beyonce was doing her shit, it was on them, and then it all blended together in a nice trifecta beautifully. So the director of cinematography deserves fat ass raisins and kudos because he did his shit right.
What's her name? The okay to have a Black Lives Matter only halftime show, which it doesn't surprise me considering who her husband is. So,
well,
he hates white people.
But my thing is Beyonce would be one of those people that would flat out, everything's okay. We all just need to work together. And I thought to myself,
I think it's a little bit of her husband's influence on that.
Well, but I thought to myself, I'm like, everyone apparently on that side of the argument wants to say, well, we need to be more diverse. We need to work together. And then I'm looking at her field of dancers, and I really, really looked at her field of dancers. Like, I analyzed the shit out of that because I had about 10 minutes to do it. I didn't see a white one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just because Coldplay's there doesn't give you an alibi not to have a white dancer or a Hispanic dancer or a Hindi dancer or an Arab dancer or a Native American dancer on down the line. Like,
Asian.
Yeah, you made it look really Malcolm X Black Powerish, and that wasn't good. And I even made that statement to my wife as we were watching.
Segregated too. They segregated themselves as this is the black part of the show over here.
Well, that was Bruno Mars doing over there then, because it looked really dark on his side of the stage.
He's mixed.
I don't know, but if you looked around him, it looked.
It's really dumb, in my opinion, that they let her do that, considering the Super Bowl, of all the shit that happens throughout the course of the year. We can all sit there and agree. We can all sit down together and watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, everyone watches.
Even if you don't even like.
Even if you don't like football,
everybody watches football. And it's all, the football is about everyone coming together and everyone being together, and this is a unity thing. Like, you have white, black, Hispanic, even like Ron Rivera is Hispanic. Like,
we're all playing together.
We're all, that's the beauty of, that's another thing about sports. Sports really brings together races.
It does.
Like, there's so many, I could bring up so many examples.
Yeah, you got 2 minutes.
But, whoever let them do that should never be allowed to. It's like the one time MTV did a halftime show, and there was boobs.
No one had a problem with it.
No one really had a
problem. One mother in fucking Utah had a problem with it. One mother in Utah had a problem with it. Just one. And then, Tittygate.
Yeah. Tittygate.
Tittygate.
I never referred to it.
No one gave a shit. Everyone was happy to see it.
I mean, shit happens. So, I'm just looking at these. These are cool.
Yes, I have coasters.
Those are awesome.
Everywhere.
Why are we not using those? This is a table.
Stargate coasters under there too. It's a fucking pressboard desk. No one gives a shit. Point is,
I used to have one just like this.
Don't look at me and call me fucking racist when you're being twice as racist as I am. Seriously. I'm just a casual white
There-
boy from the middle of
there
God knows
are-
where.
Hundreds, if not thousands, if not even millions, of white. This is I'm going political here for another 5 seconds.
You have
People-
about 5 seconds.
People don't understand that a lot of people, white people, had to go completely against their quote race, completely against the grain of tradition, to join with African Americans and other people that were discriminated against and segregated from society, to incorporate them in society and work to get people together.
Under Dr. King.
Oh yeah, under Dr. King. Malcolm,
Yeah, the other bullshit, that was military political. at
well, the
best.
Black Panthers hated the methods of Dr. King, which he got more done than Black Panthers ever got done.
He got a lot more done there.
Yeah, it's called
Proper
what's
respect.
it called?
Militarism?
No, what he called it. It's the same thing Gandhi used. Civil disobedience. You do not obey an unjust law. You do it non-violently. You
Yeah.
protest.
Yeah, we sit here, but we don't cause
And
a
whenever the
shit.
world,
Yeah.
and this is what happened with Gandhi, it happened in somewhere in what's it called? Somewhere in like Mississippi or something. We talked about this before, where it was blasted all over television. Always black people were just peacefully protesting, and you had they're being sick like dogs on them.
Yeah,
They were-
he's getting
they-
fucked up.
a hose. They were
That
getting
ain't right.
fire hosing. All that stuff got broadcasted. That is why civil disobedience works, because at some point the whole world's going to see this, and who's going to look like the monsters here? You think if the Black Panthers had their way and it was all that way, if the world sees all these black people with guns shooting up places, burning down white churches, or doing all this stuff,
Oh, you mean like now?
like with violence, and then the world looks at it and says, "Well, no wonder they're segregated from society. Look how they act.
Yeah.
Look how they're being." Okay, there's nothing about them that you want in society when they're going to act like that. When people are going to act like that, as opposed to these people are just normal people protesting. That's part of the American way, is to protest. No different than when the ladies in the 20s wanted to vote, or the woman suffrages, so on and so forth. It's no different than that. And you're going to take a hose to these people? That's not right, man. These people are peaceful, and that's how you do it. That's how
That's
you
how it's
protest.
done. Yeah.
That is how it's done.
That's how you get your word across.
Yes.
Because then you look right.
Yes. You don't look like an angry person who can't rationalize it. You look rational when you're protesting.
You look right.
You look like you're in a positive, confident
focused
state of mind. Yes. So,
All right,
we're
so,
out. We're going to see
Hold
a
on.
movie.
Wait a minute.
Sorry, go ahead.
LeBron, White Lives Matter. KKK, Black Lives Matter. Guess what? Life matters, period. You're segregating us. I have done nothing to you. Figure it the fuck out, because this shit is wearing me the fuck down, and I don't want my boy to grow up in your fucking world. And this has nothing to do with the fact that I said nigger last week like 1,000 times.
Let's go see a movie.
It doesn't!
Let's go see a movie.
Deadpool!
Deadpool. We're out to see a movie. See ya.